Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's episode. I have a special episode for you today because I don't know about you, but I find that if I don't have an organized phone, have you ever done this? Maybe you want to make a reel or you want to send a photo to someone and you're looking through your phone, like, where is that picture? Where is that video clip? And you spend hours looking for this. Sometimes it can go on for long. Well, my guest today is going to share a training with you today, the easiest way to organize your photos so that you can be more productive. You don't have to waste time and you don't have to look all over the place because time is precious, right? So let me bring on my guest here today, Sherry Borsheim. Hi, Sherry.
Hi, Lisa.
I am so excited to have you here. Let me just formally introduce you to my audience today. So, Sherry is a recognized expert in the fields of business organizing systems. She's the founder of Simply Productive. She's passionate about helping businesses simplify their digital files, paper, workspace, and time management issues so that you can have more freedom of time and peace of mind. I love that. Her clients, she's worked with corporate, she's worked with universities, she's worked, to name a few. She's a trainer, speaker, author, and she believes that there's no one size fits all solution to organizing. Therefore, she's helped thousands of small and business sized organizations really get their organizing systems to work for them. She's a guest on HTV's Makeover Wish radio talk shows and many international publications. She's the founder and past chair of Professional Organizers of Canada. You know, Sherry and I met, oh, wow. It's going to date us, but a long time ago, right?
Yes.
When the internet was not even, like, we didn't have video, right?
No. Teleseminars. I saw you talk about that.
Yes, when I say that, people are like, what? That's a long time ago. Yes, that's where you and I met through a fellow mentor that we both learned online business from. You could call us pioneers in the online space.
Yes, I would say that.
And, you know, Sherry has been consistent in her messaging, in her focus. This is her passion, but this is her expertise. So I wanted to bring her on today to do a mini training so that you can get an idea how important this is, but what the value of you having a simple way to organize your photos so that you can have a more streamlined approach in your business, but also be more productive in your business. So, Sherry, I'm going to let you take it away and you tell me when you need the slides and all that.
Okay. Let's get this party started.
All right.
So today we're going to be talking about how to organize your photos, and we are going to dive in. And this is specific to business organizing. So organizing your business photos. Go to the next slide. So your photo organizing systems and your business, it needs to maximize your productivity and freedom are critical. You can go to next.
Oh, I have someone try to get on. Sorry.
That's okay. And so I want to show you the easiest way to clean out your camera roll and organize your digital photos moving forward in your business. And then I'm going to help you create a system that you can maintain, because everything I do, I like to customize it and make it simple and easy for you to maintain. Because if you can't maintain it, you're not going to use it. So at the end of this mini training, you are going to get a whole replay. So you can just relax. You're going to get all the step-by-step instructions that I'm going to show you today. So just, you don't have to take a lot of notes and worry about all the tech. And we do have a private Facebook group, which we'll get that to Lisa, so we can just support you with the tech side of it. Why would you want to invest time to organize your camera roll and your business photos? Because it's a daunting task and it can seem very overwhelming. Well, when you invest time to get organized, it gives you time freedom. It saves money. You're going to earn more in your business because you're more organized. Your clients are going to notice. It's just a whole lot less stressful. It frees up space, and it just makes it so much easier to share if you have a virtual assistant or a team like I do. and it does really expand your business growth. I've seen this happen in the last 2 years. So getting organized is freedom and peace of mind. And I'm sure that's what we all want. I'm always looking for more ways to tweak my systems and make it more streamlined, because the last thing I want to do is be sitting at my desk all day long, frustrated, trying to find files. So this training is for you. If your camera roll is a hot mess, don't worry, no judgment here, and it makes you feel anxious. You often struggle to find important brand assets. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about your photo organizing library. Mine was scattered all over the place, even though I thought it was semi-organized. I'm going to show you how to create content that, if it takes a long time to create the content in our business. As you know, we have a lot of content creation these days. If your photos are not backed up, this is definitely for you. Or if your phone's memory is full, I don't know. I raised my hand to a lot of those over the years. So a little bit about me, my story. My mom was super organized. I don't know, this may date me a little bit, but this is a bit retro. This is a label maker, and it's an embosser. It's the Dymo embosser. My mom had her desk labeled, her binder. She had the flour and the sugar and all those ingredients in Tupperware containers, organized in her pantry. So I grew up with organization, and I really think this was my innate skill that God gave me. I've been organizing since I was 3. I literally have. I literally can see beyond the mass and what organizing systems you need based on what's not working. And then I only want to fine tune your systems that are working. So we're going to be looking at those daily frictions and frustrations that cost us time. You can go to the next.
Sorry, this is the next one.
Yeah, that's okay.
And one more. Okay.
Okay. I've also learned, I've been doing this for a couple of decades, that systems evolve as my business grows. And I'm sure you've seen this yourself, because sometimes I'm a little bit slow sometimes at evolving, and I procrastinate. Yes, I do procrastinate once in a while, because I'm like you. I'm super busy. I run a full on-site organizing business as well as my online business. And sometimes, yes, it's driving me crazy, but it's a low priority because of all the other tasks that are a higher priority. For a year, I said I wanted to get my business files in the cloud. So I procrastinated for a year, and I kept telling my husband, and lo and behold, sometimes I think God just puts these obstacles in my way to just kind of like, okay, Sherry, now is your time, because I can't take my clients to the next level until I grow into that next level. I've been working on a big launch. This was over 10 years ago. And I had been working for 3 months with a business coach. And then this happened. I call it the kiss of death. It's a black screen. My computer completely shut down. And I realized that night that my backup, because I wasn't in the cloud, it was corrupt. I lost everything that I had created for 3 months, client agreements. It was so embarrassing. I had to go back and ask clients for stuff. Everything from my online business was gone. I had some printed copies, and I had a backup of a backup. And apparently that was corrupt too. So if you have backup systems, you got to make sure that they're working. I also had my photos and my brand assets, and I'm going to dive into what I classify as brand assets. They literally were scattered all over the place. I had 2 hard drives. I had thumbnail, USB sticks. I had all the, so I don't know if you can relate, but I had it on CDs. It was all over the place. So what if you don't have a backup plan, or your phone gets lost or stolen? This does happen. Maybe you've dropped your phone in water. I've done that. If your phone can't be rebooted, you will lose all of your photos. And maybe if you have a computer crash and you have them on your computer or a device and they're not backed up, you could lose everything. And that's why I do what I do. So ask yourself, what is causing you the most stress right now? What is it that you waste a lot of time on? And if you were to create a system to organize your business photos in the next 30 days, how will that change your life and your business? I know it'll transform it. So, to create systems is to create more time in your life. You are definitely going to have more energy and freedom, and you're going to eliminate all those nagging obstacles. So, what we're going to cover, and we're going to dive right in, is we're going to talk about 4 topics: how to eliminate your digital duplicates, how to maintain a cohesive brand image with your photos. We're going to talk about how to master your content library and what goes in there. And then I'm going to show you how to work some creative magic around that. Now, I use a 5-step process for organizing my photos. I do something similar for my organizing, like if I were to come in and organize your office. But today, we're going to talk about deleting. So I start at the top of the funnel and work my way down. Then we're going to organize. This is the bulk of sort of where you're going to be spending your time. And then I'm going to briefly talk about backups, how to name your files and maintain. And I'm just going to give you a little tip. Don't stress out. You don't have to rename all your files. There's a big tip right there because people think they need to. So step 1, I want to give you some quick wins that you can do today, like literally right after you listen to this training. Step number 1 is, now all of my screenshots are on an iPhone. I do have tech support for you on the Samsung and other devices as well in our Facebook group. But in the iOS 16, it automatically organizes all your photos by photo type. So this is like having your own digital organizing assistant. So you can see here, it groups all your screenshots and anything that you have recently deleted and your selfies. So we'll go to the next slide and I'm going to show you how I delete. So quick win number 1 is we're going to delete your photos. So if you open your Photos app, tap on Albums, and then scroll down to the bottom where it says Utilities section. And this is where you're going to find all of your duplicates. Now, it might not show for you, and that if it doesn't show up, that means you don't have any duplicates. But then what you're going to do is you can tap and merge and combine duplicate photos. That like literally will take you less than 60 seconds to do. Quick win number 2 is you can do a bulk delete. So this is on the iPhone. What you do is you go to your camera roll, you tap select, then select multiple photos on your camera roll, and then just tap trash bin, and you'll be able to delete multiple photos all at once. Like, how easy is that? Quick win number 3 that you can do right away is go to your camera roll or your Photos app and go to Albums, scroll way down to the bottom. Now, all of those photos that you've just deleted, if you want to go to the next slide, what it does is it puts your recently deleted photos all together, but it doesn't actually delete them for 30 days. And so it will number the photos based on how many days are left. So if you accidentally delete something, you can recover it from here. But what I like to do is I like to clear this out because it clears up more space on my phone. So it's like a double delete. Quick win number 4 is you want to delete your screenshots. So go back to your app, go down to Albums. Your virtual assistant on your phone has already organized them all together. Now, typically, you don't need to keep all your screenshots. I don't know about you, but I do lots of screenshots, like every day. And so I have a system that we teach our students in Organize Your Business where how do you deal? Where do you file them all? Because a lot of times when we take them, I may be doing, like I did one on a thank you page yesterday. I thought, oh, that's a great little tidbit that I would like to incorporate into my business. I did a screenshot and then I went and filed it under my swipe file that I have saved on my Google Drive. So I like to repurpose my screenshots. Quick win number 5. I don't know. I hope you like these quick wins because this can all be done like literally in maybe 10, 15 minutes, and you're going to completely finish the delete process. So on Google Drive or Google Photos, so I use Google Drive, I use Google Photos, and I have a PC, just so you know. So I'm both in the two worlds. I have a PC. I'm not on an Apple computer. And what I love about Google Photos is you can delete blurry photos. So it will bring it all up. So the app is on my phone and you can literally see which ones are blurry and go and hit delete. So that's another quick little win. So we can go to the next one. A pro tip here, if you use WhatsApp or your messages and you know that there's these random photos that are being saved to your camera roll, well, there's a little thing that you need to go to your setting, go and turn it off. And these are the instructions to do that. So just go to shared with you and via messages, and then just go to messages, settings, messages, shared with you, and then toggle off Photos app. And then those random photos that get sent to you won't be saved to your camera roll, as that's just more digital clutter. Okay, now we're going to get into step 2. So those are all the things you can quickly delete. Now, notice how I haven't said go to your camera roll and create albums. That's not we're not even there yet. So let's organize your camera roll. So this is step number 2 in the process. So method 1 to clean out your camera roll and all of this backlog is to create a daily habit. I call it the daily clean out method, and you want to do this daily or weekly. Don't do this monthly. Method number 1 is you want to organize and delete however you want it, wherever you want to start, is today's photos. So once a day, go into your camera roll and search for today's photos. So you can type in today's date. And then what you do is you can manually organize them into albums if you want to. You can also add them to your favorites, and then you can delete any duplicates or blurry photos that you've missed in the first phase. Then what I do is tomorrow you're going to organize the day's photos, and then you're going to work backwards and you're going to organize the previous month's photos. So you see, some people say it take a year to organize your camera roll, and there's some methods out there where you literally have to touch and look at every single. Now, I have seen camera rolls with over 50,000 photos. I mean, it's going to take you a year to do that. You're going to give up. I know I would. And so what you want to do is you want to organize and keep backtracking. So organize the current day and then the past month. And less than 30 days, you will have your camera roll all organized. Method number 2 is you can also utilize the favorites album. And I love this. So this is where I will put like my social media headshot. The current sort of photos or courses or programs that I'm working on, I like to save those into my favorites folder. So make sure, just give it a heart and give it some love and put it in there. Method number 3 is to create albums on your phone. Now, you notice how I'm just getting to albums now. This is the first thing most people do. And I'm going to share with you my process in a moment here. So if you go, or if you can just actually go back one, if you go to the Photos app and you select albums, in the upper left corner, there's a plus sign. This is where you can create your albums. So you can go to the next. Now, this is Google Photos. Now, I mentioned that now some of you may be syncing to Cloud or Amazon, Dropbox, Google Photos. I personally use Google Photos, and the app is installed on my phone. Now, if you use iCloud, it's way easier to go to your computer and organize your photos and albums there. Another little thing is when you create albums on your phone and you're syncing to iCloud, the albums will sync in both areas. So they'll remain on your phone and they'll remain up in the cloud. But I'm on Google Photos, and if I create albums on my phone, they do not sync to Google Photos up there. So it's easier for me to go and create photos or albums up on the desktop in Google Photos. So just so you know the difference. Okay. This is my workflow. So what I do is I upload all of my videos and my photos for social media right away into my Google Drive. And you can do that from your phone. Daily or weekly backups of my camera roll, I use Google Photos for that. Again, it's an app on my phone. Then I delete photos and videos on the camera roll. So I double check once I've sunk them up into Google Photos. I go to Google Photos on my desktop and I make sure the photos are there. Then I come back to my phone and I literally clear out my entire camera roll. And people are oftentimes freaking out about this, but I don't need to keep them on there because I literally have access to all of my photos on Google Photos. And I can go to my Google Drive to find my videos for my business. So I only keep a couple of albums on my camera roll. I utilize the favorites. I organize my photos in Google Photos. And I'm just going to tell you right up front, I do not organize my business photos. I organize them in Google Drive. So I download any photos that I want to keep, and I'm going to show you how in a minute. I save those into Google Drive. I do organize my personal trips and family and Christmas and events and stuff like that, but I don't organize my business photos there. So now I want to dive into organizing systems for your digital photos on your computer and your cloud storage. Now we're going to talk, this is where I started to realize 2 years ago. I hired a full-time staff. I have one full-time and I have one part-time, but I've had other consultants that help me with my social media and editing my videos. And, they were just sort of, when I needed it, and you might be at that place too. Well, I really had to take my organizing systems to a whole nother level because of the way I need to share things. And then I was able to offload and delegate a ton of stuff. So your brand images, these are your touch points with your customers. You need to easily find these. Like even for this workshop, I went straight to my brand assets and I was able to send Lisa what she needed. So brand assets are things like your logos, your fonts. I know you can keep these in Canva, but we do have these on our Google Drive in a brand assets folder. So this is where you want to sort of bring it all together. I don't know about you, but when my computer crashed, I think I had over 50 files and different versions of my logo, and I couldn't find the most current headshot. Like, you got to have all these different sizes. And I was like, what's my current color palettes? And then I go and work with a brand expert and she's asking me for a whole bunch of stuff and I can't find it all. Like, it takes me a while to gather it. So those are all the things we want to bring together. It could even be sounds. It could be audio, any sort of packaging, your brand tone, your voice, taglines, all of those, we want to get them together. So what I've done is on my Google Drive, so it doesn't matter what system you're using, but I use Google Drive, you want to create a main folder called Operations. And then underneath, I have a subfolder called Brand Assets. Now, you don't have to call it Operations. That's what I do in my business. But you could definitely create a lot of these photos for a small business owner. There's my bio, my brand style guide, our Dubsado workflow, our fonts, media kit. You can see how it's all together under brand assets. And this makes it super easy when you're on your phone to upload pictures that you've taken or videos right into your folders. I literally run 80% of my business from my phone. So being mobile and being flexible and work from anywhere is very, very important for me. So a pro tip is you want to create your folders first for your brand assets. Then what you're going to do is you're going to move the data into it. So you may have a folder and it's called brand something or whatever you've called it. But I recommend you call it your brand assets and then start moving everything in there. And then you can start. So I always say create the folder structure, plan it out on paper first, and then create the folder structure where you're, whether it's iCloud or Google Drive or Dropbox. And then you're going to incorporate your old files into your new files. You're just going to simply move them. And you do not need to rename everything. You can name them as you use them. So that's your brand assets. Now I wanted you to create what I call my photo content library system. And I have to say, this is something that I have struggled with for over 10 years. I had different sort of variations of this, but it wasn't until the last year and a half that I really, really tweaked and dialed this in. Now we're really dialing this in. And how I approach this is you want to think about how do you create content for social media and your courses and your programs or when you're speaking? How do you want to access the information? So it's one thing to file it, but it's another thing to retrieve it. So I'm always thinking about how can I retrieve this? What's the easiest? What's intuitive? What makes sense? So this is your digital filing cabinet, much how you would put it into a paper filing system. How do you want to retrieve it digitally? And so I used to have all of these client folders before and afters. We do the pantry and we do offices and clothes closets. And they were filed under the client name. Well, my team doesn't know these people. I do. It's all up here. So what we've been doing, and the other thing that I noticed, especially if someone is helping you with your social media or YouTube editing and they need all this B-roll and sort of images, organize your content library system based on nature, flowers, pets, sunrise, sunsets, the water. Maybe you like to go camping or read books. I got a request last week, Sherry, I need a picture of you having coffee. And I do a lot of matcha lattes. So I put it all under there. And it's like, oh yeah, I need to create a folder. So here's what I did. I have a content library, but I didn't have a subfolder for coffee and matcha lattes. I went to Google Photos. I did a quick search, coffee mug. And guess what came up? Like 200 and some photos. So I select the ones that I want. I downloaded them onto my computer. My computer syncs up to Google Drive. So I created a folder under my content library, called it coffee, tea, and matcha lattes. And in there, I downloaded all of those photos. So now my team doesn't have to ask me for a photo on coffee from at a coffee shop or something. And I just put them all in there and anybody on my team can access them. Now, I do not rename all of the files, just so you know. I only rename if I think I need to find it. Like I would rename things like Sherry headshot, navy shirt, Sherry headshot, white shirt. And if you want to add a year, you could too. So this is my entire content library of today, and it's constantly evolving. And so the way I look at organizing your photos for your business is, how can you repurpose them? And with all of the content creation that we have to create on a daily and a weekly basis, it's a lot. And so creating your brand assets and your content photo library based on how you want to retrieve and use them in your content, this is so freeing for me. It's literally changed my life. And it makes it super easy to be able to delegate and share folders. And all of this is all shareable. I have a team, SP team folder, and my operations, and this is all there. They don't have access to my finance files. Those are on a different folder outside of my team. So a pro tip that I want to share with you is, in some of your folders, you're going to want to organize your photos into some subfolders. So we have a one that's called behind the scenes, which I really encourage you to create B-roll. And also, now notice we're just talking about photos. We're not talking about B-roll, which is short little snippets and reels and things that we use to cut inside of our YouTube videos or other media that you may be doing. My team is asking for horizontal, and I'm looking too, because if you need to create a header in a social media or for your any of your training speaking packages, sometimes you want horizontal and sometimes you want vertical. So when I'm shooting my photos, I take a whole bunch of vertical, then I turn it and I take a whole bunch of horizontal, and then I take some vertical video, and then I take some horizontal video. And that is how we organize it inside of our content library. And then we have a whole separate B-roll library. It's going to save you so much time. Now, that's a lot. That's the organizing part. That's what is going to give you so much freedom and peace of mind, because now all that time and effort that you spent organizing and taking all those photos, you can now put them in a place and repurpose your content. Now, I want to show you this sort of, I call it your creative magic. Inside of Google Photos, or where, if you use iCloud, whatever you're using, the search feature is so powerful. This is your automatic assistant. I rely heavily on this. You can search by face, name, date, place, keyword. Like I said, you could type in coffee. I needed to find me sitting with my laptop, or maybe it's just a desk. And so I search for those, and then I save the best of the best into my content library. And like I said, I don't organize all those inside of my Google Photos. I don't need to, because I can search for it. Back to our, or actually this is in Google Photos. When you're doing bulk searches, like what I was just talking about, as you're navigating the photos in the cloud, doing your bulk searches, you can organize them. Just click on the best of the best and then put them into your subfolders inside of your content library. So this is exactly what I did literally a week ago. And I have lots of duplicates. So a bulk organize using search in your camera roll, you can do the same. You can organize large group of photos by searching for a keyword on your camera roll, and then you could organize them into an album. Step number 3 is backup. Please back up your photos. I have lost so much data over the years. I've worked with a lot of databases. So this is step 3 in the 5-step process for organizing your photos. Please, please, please make sure your photos are backed up. I hear this all the time. I was talking with a nutritionist about a year ago. She said she had over 5,000 photos and videos, and she's got a big following online, and none of it was backed up. I was like, okay, girl, we got to get you backed up. So this is a snapshot of what it looks in Google Photos. This is the app on my phone. And all I do is my little picture is in the top corner, and I just press that and it'll turn into a dotted circle. And then it's uploading and backing it up automatically into Google Photos for me. And I do that on Wi-Fi, just so you know. I don't do it so it eats up all my data. Step number 4 is naming your files. Now, I've touched on this a little bit, and this is step 4. So rest assured, and I'm sure you're all breathing a sigh of relief, you only need to name photos that you need to find in a search, or if they're frequently used photos. Like I said, a headshot, your logo, maybe there's your one favorite shot for the coffee mug or a laptop. I just leave whatever the random number is unless my team and I think that we need to name it. Now, I haven't even talked about organizing your Canva folder. Was a mess for us. But again, we're not covering that today, but a lot of the photos that you upload into your Canva, you need to get that all organized as well. Some file naming best practices. When you're naming photos in your content library, um, or if in whatever albums, a couple of things that I typically start by year. This is best practices. So in the photo and videography world, photographers usually start with the year. And so let's just say you go to Hawaii multiple times. You could lump them all together, or if you want to organize them by year, then it'll sort them by numerical order first, then alphabetical. So just so you know, that's how both the computer and the cloud services work. So I like to do themes and then organize them based on, birthdays. Or I also have the Borsheim family. So whenever we get together with my husband's side, or the Polson, which is my side. So you may want to do that. And then sometimes you may want to organize your photos by year. And then you can see on the right there, it says 01 January, 02 February. And the reason why I do 01, 02, 03 is because it's sorting it numerically. If it's January, February, March, April is going to be at the top of the list, and that kind of thing just kind of drives me crazy. A little bit into my brain. Step number 4 is the maintenance. So we are at the end of it. This is the easiest part to do. You've done all the heavy lifting in the delete and the organize and the backup phase and the file naming. Now all you have to do is maintain it. So add photos in the moment into albums on your phone, or do what I do. I sync my photos to the cloud, and then I move them into the folders into my content library, or if they're personal, I will organize them into albums. And you can do that weekly, daily, or highly recommend monthly at a bare minimum. And trust me, you can do this. I know that was a lot to cover, but I get asked all the time, how do I organize my photos? And I can tell you, think about how you want to retrieve your photos and repurpose them. I don't know about you, but I don't like having to do things twice. It drives me crazy. And so anything to make the content creation easy and being able to repurpose, because our audiences, they see our stuff, but they don't all see it. I don't know if you've noticed that, Lisa.
Absolutely. It's so true. They see it, but they don't see it. So it's like, I
Yeah,
love this.
you can totally repurpose your content. And this was my big aha moment, like about 10 months ago. Because I don't know about you, Lisa, I was struggling. Like I had things organized, but look at what's not working, or what's wasting your time, or those little daily frictions and
Mhm.
frustrations of searching. And then I just like to dial it in and tweak it.
It's so true, and it's time consuming unless
It
you
is.
have a system in place. That's what I love about what you do, Sherry. You have a system. You have a system for not just here organizing your phones, but even for your business. And we haven't
Mhm.
even talked about video or
I know.
reels and all of that stuff too. And Canva. I've often said, "Oh, it's so not intuitive." Canva is but there's a so I'm really excited to because I'm going to be diving into your next step, which is you're organizing your business. And I believe that in today's age, we actually one of the things that we need to do is we need to get our time back. We
Yes.
can consume so much time searching for things, re like I can tell you stories upon stories, and I'm sure you've got tons with your clients. So I think this is such a valuable asset to any business to learn how to have systems put in place, even working with assistants or VAs, like you were talking about, so that they can easily access. I mean, think about the money then you save, right?
Oh, yeah, because they spend literally an hour. My team was saying, I'm spending way too much time searching for these photos. I say, oh, here's the content library. Have fun. And then they would get frustrated, and then they would, and what am I'm the one doing it in the end too. So I looked at how do they want to how do they need to retrieve it? And like I said, we've just tweaked this in the last 10 months
Mm-hmm.
based on, because I don't know about you, you probably take a lot of photos that you want to utilize.
Mm-hmm.
And I just all of a sudden was like, I need to break them down by desk, laptop, speaking, have all your
Yeah.
photos speaking on stage or on like this kind of thing virtually. And coffee mugs, or lots of people do lots of coffee shop and teas and stuff like that. And that's how I want to retrieve it.
Well, that's the other part of it, right? The naming system eventually, because sometimes you like, okay, what did I name that folder? Where did I put that? And you have, maybe duplicate things, or it's just it's crazy. It's crazy. So I'm so excited for this. So Sherry, I know people listening may want to know how to stay connected with you, but also maybe to be able to get in on your course, which I know is starting up here in a day or so. Can you tell us a little bit about that? I'm going to bring up the page and you can share what is the value of jumping in on your 5-week program that you have coming up.
Yeah, so inside of Organize Your Business, we teach you how to organize your systems. Today we talked about photos. We talk about how to organize your videos and your B-roll for social media. We have workflows actually set up in Google Drive for that. We talk about how to organize your email, your calendar, your to-dos. Like your browser bookmarks is where we start. That was a game changer for my team when I showed them that. They're like, wow, because I don't know if you're like me. I usually have anywhere from 10 to 20 windows open. And so we organize your bookmarks, and then we actually show you how to organize your passwords and secure notes and stuff like that. I share everything with my team, but they cannot see the passwords. We also talk about how to organize all of your digital files. And again, you won't have to rename them all. And I break it down so it's easy. And we talk about project planning and time management. And this is also not device dependent. So some people are in a hybrid of iOS and PC, like I am. Some are just the cloud, like Apple, and then some are on Samsung. And so I teach strategies that you can implement no matter what sort of system you're using.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have just added all of these. We're starting tomorrow, actually, where for the next 5 weeks, we've added these 9 bonuses. One of the biggest things that we've added is we recognize that people want some one-on-one. And how we do that is you can submit for review. So whatever sort of file structure or specific questions that you have, you submit them on a Monday. I and my team will personally create a video and review them and send that back to you. And we also have live training over the next 5 weeks inside of our Facebook group, or actually we're going live on Zoom. And we can have hot seats and Q&A. So you're going to get so much support over the next 5 weeks. And I can pretty much guarantee that you are going to get it so dialed in, so then you can just be stress-free with your systems for your business to support you throughout the rest of the year.
Mm-hmm. And these are things that you can refer back to again and again and implement.
Yeah, you
So,
get lifetime access to these. So the next 5 weeks, you're going to get a lot of one-on-one team with myself and with, my team is amazing, actually.
you were the first person that got me onto things like LastPass and things like
Mhm.
that way back when we first connected, and that has been a game changer for me.
It is,
I
isn't
don't,
it?
you know, I don't know if you're listening today and you're like, passwords. My husband has his archaic, and I'm trying to get him on LastPass. I said you can't just put them all on a piece of paper or in your phone. So it is a game changer. It's like, oh, I just share a LastPass like you were
Yeah.
talking about. They don't see the password, but they get access to it. Anyone is assisting you. So Sherry, thank you so much. The link for those of you who are listening and you want to jump in, there is a link down below where you're watching this live stream video. And I'm excited to jump in. Thank you so much, Sherry, for all that you do and for showing up and teaching us today how to get our time back by simply organizing and creating systems in our business.
Thank you, Lisa.
Have a great day, everyone. Bye.
Bye.